Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/sportsmastery. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, heroes and villains. I'm your host, Deshaun Fauntleroy. I know your time is precious, so we're going to get right into today's show. In today's show, we're going to start off with some self-reflection questions. These questions are designed to raise your confidence as you review your accomplishments. Recall positive feedback, resolve to mirror and model your athletic heroes, and listen to reminders of your capabilities. What has been the biggest challenge to date that you have overcome in your sport? And how did you overcome it? Examples include bouncing back from an injury, busting out of a slump, or completing your first marathon or throwing your first 7-inning game. Describe your greatest sports performance to date. Spend a few minutes reliving the glory and magic moments from this performance in vivid color. What helped you make it over the top? What were your thoughts and feelings during the game, match, or the race? What are 3 of your signature strengths or attributes as an athlete? Be honest, but don't be modest in answering these questions. Examples include work ethic, mental toughness, and focus, to name a few. What are 3 compliments you have received from others that made you feel good about yourself? Examples include a coach describing you as the hardest worker on the team, opponents saying you were their toughest competition, or a teammate calling you a warrior on the field, diamond, or court. Who in your life wouldn't be surprised to see you overcome the challenge before you now and or accomplish your biggest goal? Examples include your mother, father, a brother or sister, grandparent, coach, teammate, or a friend. What are 3 awards or accomplishments that you have earned? Examples include an individual or team trophy, an athletic scholarship, or a personal best in your performance. Identify 3 athletic heroes or role models, currently or from your childhood, that you can mirror or mimic when you need a confidence boost during a challenging situation. Maybe your favorite player battled through on-the-field adversity by showing tremendous resolve when he or she played. And remember, if you can spot the greatness in others, then you already have some of the greatness in yourself. In today's show, we're going to be discussing working on your craft or crafting yourself. 5 steps to a new self-image. How can you take control of your creative mechanism and reprogram it as a success mechanism? Change comes about through awareness of a negative self-image, by challenging the bad habits that support this image, and by creating a new positive self-image that allows you to set and achieve worthwhile goals. Let's use Emily as an example and go through 5 steps that she followed. It's easy to remember these steps if you think of reprogramming your automatic mechanism as craft. The C is for cancel, R for replace, A affirm, F focus, T train. Later, we'll talk about how and why these 5 steps work. For now, try to reserve judgment about them. Just take a look at how Emily used them and think about how they might apply to you. Cancel old negative data. Emily went about her business as usual, but anytime she found herself thinking, I just don't have a head for numbers, she said the word cancel out loud. This made her conscious of her negative beliefs and formed in her the habit of challenging these beliefs. It also made her rather interesting to be around while walking through the store. But it was important for her to do this every time she was consciously aware of such negative thoughts. It was also important for Emily and for yourself to actually say cancel or stop instead of thinking it. By hearing yourself speak the thought, you complete what psycholinguists call the language loop. The language loop. It's a double reinforcement. Your ears hear your voice given the order. It makes you focus clearer. Have you ever noticed that when you mutter to yourself, okay, now where did I put those keys? It actually seems to help you find them. The same principle is at work here. By repeatedly hearing your own voice cancel her negative program, Emily moved toward actual cancellation of her old self-image. The R is replace. Replace it with new positive data. Once Emily was conscious of her old habit, she replaced the old program. I'm dumb at math with a new one. I'm very good at my job, and the numbers aspect is a part of it. She repeated this new data several times each day. Every time the old program popped up, immediately after saying cancel, she would reaffirm the new program to herself. Affirm. Affirm your new image to yourself. Emily made affirmation cards on which she wrote out the statement defining her new positive self-image. She placed one card on her desk at work and taped the other to her bathroom mirror at home, where she would see them every day. By doing so, she reminded herself to reinforce her new self-image on a repeated basis. It's important here to understand that affirmations used alone will not change your habits. Only if the self-image is in a process of change will they begin to take effect. So you have to take action. Affirmations help to point you back on course when feedback from your old negative self-image makes you concentrate on the curb instead of your destination. But unless you have a destination, affirmation will turn quickly into frustration. So you have to take action. Focus on an image of a successful you. Every day, Emily allowed herself 10 minutes to sit down by herself, relax, and picture herself answering clients' questions about interest rates and other mathematically related topics. These are called mental pictures, or entering the theater of your imagination. Again, these are called mental pictures, or entering the theater of your imagination. Sometimes we call it focusing your daydreams or reflective learning. By vividly imagining success, Emily caused her subconscious mind to respond as though she had actually been successful. This is not a metaphysical process. The brain works in pictures. Visualization is crucial to reprogramming your servo mechanism, and relaxation is crucial to visualization. For now, don't worry too much about the specifics of how to achieve your visualizations. Just be aware of their importance. Train yourself for lasting change. Train yourself for lasting change. Meanwhile, Emily acted as if she were already operating under her new program. She reviewed the math she needed to answer questions from prospective home buyers and practiced using it whenever she came upon the opportunity. A new self-image was not magically going to put this information into her head, but it did allow her to see herself as capable of learning it. Under her old programming, she couldn't even consider the idea. Meanwhile, she took repeated opportunities to tell herself, I'm mastering the mathematics of the real estate business. She made a lot of phone calls during her workday, and she made a point of repeating this statement to herself every time she picked up the phone. These reinforcements served as an insurance policy for her new attitude and behavior. They continually reminded her that she was in the process of change. So within this, I want to leave you with two principles of the subconscious mind: the agreement principle and the compliance principle. The agreement principle explains that the subconscious mind always says yes to everything the conscious mind tells it. The compliance principle explains that the subconscious mind always moves in the direction in which the conscious mind points it. Now I'll leave you with two principles of the conscious mind: the selection principle. The selection principle expresses that the conscious mind looks at options and makes purposeful choices among them. The elimination principle explains that once the conscious mind has made its selection, all other options are eliminated for that given moment. This last part is for my student athletes who happen to be listening to this. This is one of the biggest traps that student athletes face when they enter college. What is that trap? That trap is failure to recognize the opportunity at hand. What I'm going to share with you is information from Vernon Jackson's book, Nothing to Show for It, the student athlete's rule book for success. So here, and I quote Vernon Jackson: the opportunity to receive an education at a respected institution of higher learning, to accumulate no debt while receiving this education, and to compete at the highest levels athletically is rare and worth cherishing. Many student athletes cherish the athletic opportunity that is before them while not fully appreciating the academic opportunity. Some don't even fully recognize the value of the athletic opportunity that they are faced with and simply go through the athletic motions of practice and training each day. The tough yet rewarding thing for a young student athlete to do is to appreciate both aspects of the college experience and put maximum effort into both. A student athlete should find a major that he or she is interested in and work towards getting the highest grades possible, not simply staying eligible to play. He or she should attend class and study as well as lifting weights and watching game film. The student athlete should also get enough sleep so that he or she not only has energy at practice, but also has the energy to actively learn and participate in class. He should learn how to respect the prowess and credentials of his professors as much as he respects the position and accomplishments of his coaches and the alumni from his school that went on to play professionally. I've seen athletes that were starters for multiple seasons at Iowa while also earning engineering degrees and graduating with honors. I've also seen starters at Iowa earn degrees in biology and go on to medical school. I've seen players get degrees in communications and go on to well-paying careers in that field. There is no rule that athletes have to be jocks that do just enough to academically get by. The players that get the most out of college and set themselves up for the most success in the future are the ones who appreciate both the academic and athletic opportunities that they are faced with and put maximum effort into both. At the University of Iowa, I did not limit myself to getting by academically or to the athletic circle of friends like many athletes do. I was as committed in the classroom as I was in the weight room. And so despite a career-ending injury, I graduated in 4 years with honors in political science. I stepped outside of the normal football player box, got involved in serving the community, student government, and national politics. By the time my 4 years at Iowa were up, I had served as a senator in the student government, met the future president of the United States on multiple occasions as I worked with the Barack Obama campaign and helped launch an awesome after-school mentoring program for disadvantaged kids in the area. Doing all these things allowed me to broaden my horizons and learn a great deal. In addition, I met and formed lasting relationships with many excellent people. I began to understand the meaning of the saying, "It's not what you know, it's who you know." Because of the great people that I met and worked with, whenever I needed anything, from a letter of recommendation for law school to a place to sleep when I'm back in town and even jobs while I was in Iowa City, I always had a connection that I could call on. It is not smart or beneficial for you to limit yourself to playing football, just surviving academically and living in the football bubble. There are lifelong benefits to taking your academics serious, broadening your horizons, and getting involved in other things. If you thought this was going to be some type of run-of-the-mill garden variety podcast show, you're in the wrong place. We're way past dry facts and dry science. What lies behind the Sports Mastery podcast show is my coaching program. My coaching program is designed to help the athlete reach their hopes and dreams, overcome pains and fears, and bust through all barriers and limitations. It doesn't take a PhD to teach confidence. It doesn't take a PhD to teach motivation. Every now and then, it's going to feel like I'm pulling teeth. But what I'm going to share with you is my high-level systems and strategies that I've used with Olympic-level athletes, Division I athletes, and NFL athletes. You can learn more about my high-level systems and strategies at sportsmastery.com/coaching. Get a free 1-hour complimentary consult. Visit that page and fill out the form.